Welcome, everybody, live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. I'm Jenny Sanders, also known as Jenny Almighty, and I'll be with you for the next 2 hours along with our very own Dr. Dean. And we've got a great program for you tonight, January 20th, 2020. What an amazing year already. We've started off here at AchieveRadio.com, and it is just going to keep rolling and rolling and rolling. So much good information to share with you. And, of course, wanting to just acknowledge this show is made possible by our appreciative listeners who tell the people and spread the word about this show. And we hope that you're one of those who is joining us for the first time tonight, in which case you're going to have a great opportunity to hear the wisdom of Dr. Carolyn Dean, and also to hear the wisdom of our guests and our callers who share their thoughts, their experiences through the show through our call-in radio line, 602-666-6027. Again, that's 602-666-6027. And also they share their experiences and passion for pursuing health and pursuing that self-health that says that I'm a worthy, valuable human being and I deserve to feel good, look good, and I'm going to take care of myself and do it the natural way. And Dr. Dean has a lot of experience being a role model for that, ladies and gentlemen. Herself, 50 years of looking darn good. I mean, I'm talking beautiful woman, and feeling good, taking care of herself, taking care of everybody around her for that matter, and sharing her wisdom about her formulas and her experience on this show. So we're happy to have her. Again, I just want to say, live call-in talk show. Please, everybody, feel free to call in and talk to Dr. Dean. One of the true blessings in life, I can say from the sincerity of my heart, when I've needed her to make a difference for me, she always has. And she's just got great insight, she's got great wisdom, and she's connected. So she gets to pull stuff down from the ethers, which is always fun, and she surprises me all the time. If you want to talk to her tonight, 602-666-6027, again, and then you're going to want to hit *5 on your keypad, which will raise your hand in the studio. Let me know you've got a question or comment. And when we get through our opening remarks here on the show, we will put you on the line. So how our opening remarks go? Well, usually what happens at this point in time is I let everybody know that Dr. Dean is a medical doctor. She's also a naturopath. She's an herbalist. She's the author of 110 Kindle books and 35 books, including the international bestseller translated into many languages, The Magnesium Miracle, the basis for so much of what we do now. Her experience with discovering the world of magnesium, translating that into a cry for public health awareness, and then turning that into a demand for products that would support people who wanted to alleviate their magnesium deficiency symptoms through a biologically available and highly effective formula, and then ultimately accentuating that with other things that she knows are the basic building blocks that are important for health, vitality, and well-being. And peppered in there is all kinds of super fun and delicious stuff, including homeopathy and fun things and Gasku towers and total biology, the conflict basis of disease, working with the emotions and the mind. I mean, this is just the most robust show. My gosh, when I think about it, it blows me away. I get so excited every Monday night. So without further ado, we want to invite you, welcome, sit back. If you've got your Remag in front of you, grab a little glass of water. Remag, I'm pulling it closer to me right now. And if you don't, you'll hear about it soon enough, and I know you're want to get some. Okay, welcome this evening, our very own Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Thank you, Jenny. That was wonderful, as usual. I appreciate you. And yes, we have, as usual, a great show. And the greatness of the show is often evidenced by our incredible callers, because they ask the questions that make me and Jenny think, and we come up with the answers, and we share the information that we've learned over the years to treating. Well, I guess we're not allowed to treat, but we're actually improving people's structure and function by getting them to replete their bodies with nutrients that they are deficient in, that no one ever told them about. So that's what we do, and we say things like, the worst is over because you're here. So what brought you here, usually something on the internet where you read something often about magnesium and then realize, oh my gosh, as somebody wrote in today that I was describing them from head to toe when I was talking about magnesium deficiency. So we're used to that reaction, but at the same time, you never get used to the individual results that people express. It is quite incredible what we experience on our end. I want to start out the show, as I have been the past few weeks, telling you about our practitioner referral. As Jenny says, what if your doctor knew about REMAG years ago? Then you would have been on REMAG for many years and far ahead of the game. So what we're asking you to do is give the name of a practitioner that you think might be interested in REMAG, and we'll send them a box with information, a couple of sample bottles of REMAG. We'll do a follow-up call and give information to the doctor or their office staff. So we'd like you to get involved with that. Thank you. There's also referral candy. You'll get a notice about that after every order, where when you refer a friend, you get a 15% discount and they get a 15% discount. Also, we have a research project on our homepage, rnareset.com. Click on research and get your blood testing done. It's a home blood test kit. You don't have to have a doctor's referral. And after you register and get your test results within 30 days, you'll get a coupon each month as you submit your updated questionnaires, and the coupons will amount to $214 free money. That covers the cost of the test, and you get your test results and an evaluation every 30 days to record your own clinical symptoms. We do not have access to your individual files, but the statistics will be accumulated, and then we'll help figure out where we're at in terms of our recommendations for nutrients and how much to take. 1 second. Just taking a drink of sea salted water. 1 second. Okay, swallowed something wrong there. So the other thing that I talk about most weeks is our magnesium deficiency assessment or survey. Jenny, did you know we have 12,567 people who've answered our 6 questions about magnesium deficiency symptoms? 12,567. That's huge, and we've only been doing this for a few months. And anxiety still wins. 65% of people who answer the survey say they have anxiety. 63.2% insomnia, 51% muscle cramps, 47.4% heart palpitations, 41.8% restless legs, 29.9% headaches. So we've got a lot to do, and we've got a lot of people to work with those types of numbers. And Ginny, let's talk about our blow out the warehouse sale. Do you want to start that off? Ginny's busy on mute answering, multitasking. But yes, we are going to have a blowout warehouse sale. And we're...
See what's happening. Sorry, Carolyn, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, we are going to have a blowout warehouse sale, and here's the thing. Well, it's just so fun on so many levels. First of all, we are getting ready to relocate into our new distribution facility, and it is massively state-of-the-art, super cool and groovy, and everybody's jumping up and down until they looked at the pallets that have to go where they need to go, and we're like, nope, we've got to get rid of those because we've already got too much to move. So I'm asking you to help me out, people, and let's have fun with this sale. Now, what's going on sale right now as we speak, and I started at 7 o'clock tonight in time for the radio show, is, first of all, most exciting thing, the RNA Reset drops are finally back in sale. And honestly, not only are they back on sale, but they're on sale. I mean, they're back in stock and they're on sale. So we feel bad that there were people who had to suffer through the holidays without their glorious little blue bottle of drops. We try not to have it happen, but honestly, the drops are, number one, of course, we know, very popular and our foundational product, one of them. But also, you know, they're just the most precious little things. They take 23 days to make, and they are what they call micro-batched, and it's something where when we're out, we're out. And then people are like, where are my drops? And I'm like, well, yeah, we got to wait for another micro-batch. So get your drops for sure and for real, and now they're on sale. So how special is that? Number one. Number two, Remite. Okay, let me answer this. No, Remag is not on sale. We discount Remag all the time. I don't know if everybody's noticed that, but between the 15% off that new customers get on our website, the regular discount on the larger bottles where you can get 10 or more, the 15% off that you can get on a monthly basis if you do referral candy and all the rest of that. Remag is our most heavily discounted, consistently day in and day out product. So, but what happens is people do not get Remite the way they should. And so we have to continue to make Remite more easily available to the public so that they can understand the beneficial 1-2 power punch combo dance partner situation we have going on with Remag and Remite. So Remite goes on sale this evening, the 8-ounce bottle, the very simple, elegant little solution there. Again, 30% off. Then we're putting the Restructure on sale, which is also super fun, cool, and groovy. And everybody loves Restructure. Everybody loves Restructure. If you haven't been on our YouTube channel and seen one of our very wonderful customers from Apex, North Carolina, Mr. Steele Scott, make Restructure pancakes with his dog, with his Labrador. He didn't put his Labrador in the pancakes, but the Labrador's in the kitchen. You owe it to yourself to go view that. It is one of the most precious things I've ever seen. So you want to get the Restructure, and then what was the other thing we decided to do? We've got drops, Remite, Restructure, and Pico Silver. Because people, is everybody sick or what? I mean, not Carolyn or I, but seriously. Every time I turn around and everywhere I am, people are having a difficult time with this level of crud. And the other thing that's happening because of all just everything, you know, the upheaval, the environment changing, the winters in the South have not nearly been cold enough, and that necessary cold snap that's required to freeze everything and kill all that bacteria is not happening. And we're going to have to be more aggressive in taking care of ourselves in this regard. So you've got your Pico Silver, your Remite, which is another great asset for all of your asthma and all this other kind of business, your tissues and all that, the zinc in it, wonderful, wonderful. You've got your drops, which are your super fantastic bubble plastic behind the scenes. Nobody's really quite sure, but they always do something really amazing. And then you've got your Restructure, which, by the way, no other protein powder on the planet has lysine, vitamin C, and silica in combination as building blocks to support the immune system and collagen function and also muscle recovery. It's one of a kind. And then plus it's got the RNA reset drop powder in it. So it's a bonanza. It's just talking about all of it. It just makes me want to run out on the road and sweep thousands of people through the door and sit them down and give them an orientation and then point them into the website and say, hurry up and get better.
Right. Yeah, especially the restructure, that's big. That's a big thing. That's a lot of heavy pallet there. We would like to move that restructure.
Yeah, I know, oh my gosh, no doubt. And it's so funny you got, well, it's not funny, but the FDA in their infinite wisdom, and oh my, are they wise. They require restructure to be segregated in its own part of the warehouse because it, quote unquote, may, you guys, may, please hear the emphasis on may, contain soy because it's manufactured in a 60,000 square foot building where other soy products are made in sterile suites. But nevertheless, it's in the building, and therefore it may contain soy. And so it has to be segregated in its own part of the warehouse, and it's just taking up this massive amount of space. We had to rearrange everything just to accommodate that. So anyway, it's just a fun adventure of what we do, and we love what we do, and we're not complaining or vetching in any way. But it'll be fun when you guys take some of this off our hands. And also our very dear friend and partner in Canada, Lorraine, at True Health Canada, is honoring our sale price. So if you're listening from Canada, yep, wow. She is. Yes, she is. She and her glorious hubby up there are bundling and packaging as we speak. So if you would like to achieve the same thing in Canada, then please hit up shop.truehealthcanada.ca and she will take care of you.
Shop.truehealthcanada.ca. Shop.truehealthcanada.ca. Come on, move. There it is.
Did it not?
Awesome.
Did it not work? Yeah.
No, it worked.
Yeah.
It's up.
Yeah.
It's up. Okay.
I'll put it on.
Perfect. Yeah, put it on the chat.
I'll put it on.
Just because I do not want to tell a lie, you said Carolyn and I don't get sick. You may hear my throat just graveling there. What happened to me, well, I mean, I didn't talk about this earlier, but Ginny had a site visit, which is expected periodically from the FDA. And what happened to me when I heard the FDA, we can't say this, you can't do that, you got to... Immediately my throat got reacted. It was a total biology reaction. And then, so that was fine. That was in December when I was over at the warehouse Christmas party. And Ginny, just the other day when I took some folks to the spa, I was in and out of the hot tub and the cold and dip and all that, and I reactivated my virus. So
oh dear.
Plus the chiropractor. Heavy treatment of the chiropractor started at that day.
Right. Thank you, Bob. So too much, stimulation of the body, and that's why I'm not keen on cold plunge and, too much heat, too much cold. And I have to be, a bit wary of it. So, just full disclosure, that's all. Full disclosure.
Very good. Excellent.
So,
well, let's put it this way. You rarely get sick. I flew around with you all last year. We were tromping out of the snow and in and out of Indiana on planes, trains, and automobiles all over the greater United States, and nary a thing. But I do think the FDA thing got... And Canada. And Canada, yeah. But I do think that, the FDA thing does get you a little stirred up, and rightfully so, because it is such a mixed bag. We understand they want to do the right thing and protect and keep people safe. We understand that. And then there's the other part that we're not sure we really understand.
Right. Okay, so that being all said, go start taking advantage of our sale. And I'm going to talk about Ginny's blog. She puts out every Monday. Today it's about magnesium, calcium, and osteoporosis. So we have a quote that I say sometime. The scientist rigorously defends his right or her right to be ignorant of almost everything except his or her specialty. And another quote that I like is, we've educated the common sense out of people. So this does apply to osteoporosis. And I'll get to, why that is, why they basically avoid magnesium. And so the blog from my Magnesium Miracle book, for the most part, says, did you know that there are approximately 17 nutrients essential for healthy bones? And only one of them is calcium. And Susan Brown, who's the director of Osteoporosis Education Project in Syracuse, New York, warns that the use of calcium supplementation in the face of magnesium deficiency can lead to a deposition of calcium in the soft tissue, such as joints, promoting arthritis, or in the kidney, contributing to kidney stones. Now, maybe she says it elsewhere, but what we found with studies out of New Zealand, that women who take calcium supplements have an increased risk of heart disease because of calcification of the arteries, the coronary arteries and the arteries through the body. So we're at risk by taking too much calcium, whereas calcium is the so-called treatment for osteoporosis. Okay, so women with osteoporosis have lower than average levels of magnesium in their diets, according to many studies, actually. In the Magnesium Miracle, I write that adequate levels of magnesium are essential for the absorption and metabolism of calcium. Magnesium stimulates a particular hormone, calcitonin, that helps to preserve bone structure and draws calcium out of the blood and soft tissues back into the bones, preventing some forms of arthritis and kidney stones. Now, what the vitamin K people will say is that, well, it's only vitamin K2 that can perform that function, but that is not true. Number 3, magnesium suppresses another bone hormone called parathyroid hormone, preventing it from breaking down bone. Now, this is where magnesium is important in people who have parathyroid problems, but I really can't tell people, well, if you have a parathyroid tumor, just take magnesium. I tell people to go to the Norman Institute in Florida, where they take care of parathyroid tumors, because they do have to be removed. And I have a section on parathyroid in the Magnesium Miracle. Number 4, magnesium converts vitamin D into its active form so that it can help calcium absorption. 5, magnesium is required to activate an enzyme that is necessary to form new bone. 6, magnesium regulates the active calcium transport. 7, it is also important to mention that vitamin K2, along with magnesium, plays an important role in helping direct calcium to the bones where it belongs. Okay, so that lets you know the importance of magnesium. However, most people, including MDs, do not understand the importance of balancing calcium and magnesium at the cellular level. We never learned about this in medical school. Calcium cannot build bones or prevent osteoporosis without adequate levels of magnesium. It's as simple as that. If our bones were made entirely from calcium, they would become brittle and could shatter just like a stick of calcium carbonate chalk falling on the sidewalk. However, with the right percentage of magnesium, bone has the proper density and matrix that actually makes it flexible and more resistant to shattering. Okay, so then I started looking at some, well, not really that updated. I found a 2009 article in AARP, for Pete's sakes, entitled, "Are Women Being Overtreated for Bone Loss?" And what, you can look that article up. It's quite good, actually. And doctors often do bone density scans in women over 50. We all know that. I mean, I get messages from Kaiser every week telling me to come in and get my bone density scan. To determine, the scan is to determine whether they need to be on a bisphosphonate drug. That's all they can offer. So I think we have a question in the mailbag, should I get a scan? And I can't tell people not to get tested, but there are a few things you need to know about these scans. First of all, they are given so a doctor can talk you into taking a drug that helps increase your bone density by preventing your bones from breaking down. There's osteoblasts, which make bone, and osteoclasts that break down and remodel bone. So they kill the osteoclast so that you don't break down bone, but you also don't have the mechanism to model the bone and put it into the right conformation so that it won't be brittle and it won't break. So it's like a drug to make the bone density scan or the X-ray look good. That's what it is. Because I think I'll get to the side effects of the bone density drugs, and one of them is fractures, which is what you're trying to prevent. Okay, so we've got some quotes here in this AARP article. Osteopenia alone doesn't mean much, says the director of Osteoporosis Research Center. What's more important is the risk of fracture. And the risk of fracture is if you're inactive, if you're either very underweight or maybe overweight, but it's more the underweight. If your muscles, you don't keep your muscles in good shape, because we know, the way our hormones shift, we do know that bones are less dense as we get older, and we do depend on our muscles to keep our balance, our structural integrity, et cetera, et cetera. So the risk factors are related as well to alcohol intake, cigarette smoking, and as I said, lack of exercise. So the DEXA scan defines how far bone mineral density falls above or below the norm. Now get this, please sit down to hear this line. I've said it before, but it hit me again when I saw it in this article, and you can find it as well. The DEXA norm is an average healthy woman in her 30s. Seriously, they want your bone, somehow they want your bones to be like a 30-year-old. And they can't be because of as I said, the shift in hormones, falling estrogen. Estrogen does help bone, what does it do? The estrogen does help calcium reach the bones, but when they've done studies giving women and men estrogen. It just doesn't work that way. It's just the way the physiology works. So they're trying to make us, after 50, 60, 70 years of age, have bones of a 30-year-old. This is crazy. It really is inappropriate, especially when they say, well, osteopenia doesn't mean much. It's about, taking care of your risk factors. And the fact that they're mainly doing the scan to offer you a drug that's going to make brittle bones. And so what they've done with this type of testing, because that's all they want to do, they want to test, screen, so they can make money off the tests and the screens and then make money off your doctor's visits to get these drugs and then make money off your side effects because you're prescribed more drugs. By the time women are in their 50s, most will be classified as osteopenic, okay? So we're all osteopenic. Let's get over it. So when you're told you're osteopenic, say, yeah, right, I'm over 50. So what else is new? And this fear-mongering, and they do, AARP article identifies that, the fear of fracture, and one doctor said, yeah, we call it the worried well. And it's because they've made us worried by pushing these tests. Anyway, so one lady doctor finally says, taking all the risk factors into account to figure out when treatment might make sense is a much more rational approach. The chance of the average 55-year-old woman with osteopenia fracturing the hip within the next 10 years is less than 1%. That's hardly a risk that calls for drug treatment. However, at 50, you get your DEXA scan, you're told you have osteopenia, and then you fret for 10 years and, start sort of tottering around like you're an invalid, afraid you're going to fall and break something. I used to, when I biked or rollerbladed and I'd fall and not break something, I'd cheer and say, hey, I just proved my bones are strong. But anyway, that's not really the best experiment to allow yourself to fall. So just get healthy, get happy, and get your exercise, get your balance. I've gone back to doing yoga on my own. I can't do it in a class. I'm too competitive. And I'm finding my balance is better. So I'm walking, swimming, and doing my yoga now. We do have to keep our balance, be able to stand on one foot, for example. Then you're not going to be thrown off and fall. Okay, so in the AARP article, they're just talking about calcium and vitamin D. They're saying federal guidelines recommend 1,200 milligrams of calcium, 800 to 1,000 of vitamin D. Now, that much calcium is too much, especially when it's dirt calciums that are only about 4% absorbed. The rest will precipitate. So my calcium recommendations are 600 milligrams, either from your diet or from Recalcia. A teaspoon of Recalcia is 300 milligrams. So that's my calcium recommendation, my magnesium recommendation. Certainly not just the RDA, which is 400, 450, I think, which is what most people are recommending. Oh, take 450. You might need more like 600, 900. I had to take 1,200 milligrams of magnesium for my heart palpitations. Also eat your greens and yellows and reds for the phytonutrients. Remember I said at the beginning 17 nutrients are necessary for bone formation. The bisphosphonates, Fosamax, Didronal, Boniva, Actonel, Reclast, gosh, they got a ton of them now. Side effects, mild gastrointestinal problems. No, not mild. You cannot lie down after you take bisphosphonates. They cause heartburn, acid reflux, irritation of the esophagus, nausea and vomiting, and more seriously, ulcers and bleeding. They also cause severe muscle
Jeez, what in the heck? Are you serious?
Yeah.
That little whiff of reality just came through my brain, and I'm like, oh my gosh, if that's what people are being relegated to, just to think that they're going to try to help their bones, that's terrible.
Aww. Yeah, for the 1% chance within the next 10 years you might fracture something if you're over 50. I know, when you look at those statistics, and that's the first symptom. Then severe muscle joint or bone pain, which makes me wonder, what this bisphosphonate is doing to your magnesium. Look at number 3, esophageal cancer. And number 4,
oh my gosh,
breakdown of the jawbone.
Wow.
I mean, I remember going over this before. I remember the horror of on the chat. But the breakdown of the jawbone, a dentist will not do dental work like an implant or something on the jaw of a woman who's on bisphosphonates because the jawbone gets so brittle that when they drill in, it can just shatter. And, this last one, and there are more, but increased rates of a serious heart rhythm abnormality. So that's your magnesium deficiency right there. And then they're getting into these biologicals now. Oh, well, yeah, maybe these bisphosphonates have side effects. Well, let's use the biologicals. So far they're finding they have hot flashes, leg cramps, and blood clots. Or the hormones themselves, like the estrogens, stroke, blood clots, breast cancer. So we're much safer taking responsibility for our own health, giving the body the basic building block nutrients to make your own bones. And as you get older, as your bones, they say we're all osteopenic. Anyway, just make your muscles strong. Keep your bones all, nicely compacted in your torso. I know. Anyway, in your skeleton. That's what I should say. So, talked about magnesium dosage, 600 to 900, calcium, 600 from diet or recalcia. Now, vitamin K, that's come up in the mailbag a lot. Think about vitamin K, it hasn't been around that long as a nutrient. There's been some research. There's a bunch of books out on it now saying, oh, yeah, vitamin K, you have to take it as a supplement. I can't even find out when I look at the vitamin K supplements what the source of the vitamin K is. So I just assume it must be synthetic. And the thing about vitamin K is there are food sources for vitamin K. Vitamin K1, there are two different kinds. Vitamin K1 is for blood clotting. Let me get the words here. The body needs vitamin K to produce prothrombin, a protein and clotting factor that is important in blood clotting and in bone metabolism. People who use blood-thinning medications like Coumadins should not start consuming additional vitamin K without asking their doctor. Deficiency of vitamin K, they say, is rare. Vitamin K1 is primarily found in leafy green vegetables and makes up 75 to 90% of all vitamin K consumed by humans. Vitamin K2 is abundant in fermented foods and some animal products. So vitamin K1 is for blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is for bone metabolism. So it's K2 that we tell people is in our blue ice oil because it's in the butter oil. But we don't know how much people are getting. So I looked up the vitamin K1 food sources, Okay, I should first go to the DRI, the amount, not the RDA, but it's a new designation of how much a person should consume. They say 90 micrograms a day for women and 120 micrograms for men. Now, they don't, that's for K1. Okay, so that's for K1. So look at what the foods do for us. Kale, 1,062 micrograms in 100 grams, which I think is 3 ounces. So 1,000 micrograms, and all you need is 90 micrograms a day. So have a cup of kale, for Pete's sakes. Collard greens, 1,000. Spinach, 889. Turnip greens, 529. Broccoli, 220. Brussels sprouts, 218. So get your K1 from food sources. K2, they don't even have an RDA or DRI for K2. They're saying maybe 100 to 200 micrograms. So the vitamin, and the thing about K2, since it's just being studied now, there's really not a real standardization of the information, but there are 13 subtypes of vitamin K2. K4 is in some animal products, like chicken, egg yolks, and butter. MK5 through 15, now where are they? In fermented foods, I guess. Certain hard and soft cheeses are MK7. I mean, it's crazy. I was looking up K supplements, and some have a K4, some have a K7. So as soon as the supplement companies see some research on vitamin K, they start making these products just kind of willy-nilly. But you look at natto, that's a soybean product, and it apparently tastes yucky, but it's a fermented soybean. It has 1,000 micrograms in 100 gram of natto. Pork sausage, 383 micrograms. Hard cheeses, 76 micrograms. A pork chop, 75. Chicken leg, thigh, 60. Soft cheeses, 57. Egg yolk, 32. And like I said, our grass-fed butter is loaded with K2, and we don't know the amount. So there we have it. I'm saying get your K2 from Blue Ice Royal and food, and your K1 from food, green leafy vegetables. So there. I haven't gotten to the mailbag yet. I thought I'd take a break and see if you had comments, Ginny.
We've got lots of callers waiting. I do have some comments on the chat line and also lots of callers, so maybe we could do some of those calls.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, very good. All right, so let's go, and Carol, I do see your question, and we're going to come back to that because it's a really good question. So let's go to area code 703. 703, the great state of Virginia. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm Carol from Virginia, and I've spoken with Dr. Dean before, and she advised me to go on the yeast-free diet because of digestive issues that I was having. Mm-hmm. So I found that it's a strict diet. I had to give up all the fruits. That's pretty much all the sugar I ever had anyway, but I had to give up the fruits. And so taking the supplements and on the diet really helped. And my digestive system was better. So I eased off the supplements, and it started coming back again. So I started back on the supplements, stayed on it for a while. While I was on it, things were fine. But when I went off it, it came back. So my question is, why am I on this kind of a roller coaster ride back and forth? And secondly, I've developed a rash And I'm wondering, I'm sure this has something to do with it, but I can't quite connect the dots on that one. So if you could give me...
Sure, Carol. Now, when you say taking supplements, which ones are you talking about?
Well, everything you recommended for a yeast-free diet.
Right.
I'm taking the garlic, I can't think of the names of them now.
Okay. You mean the natural antifungals?
Antifungals, yes, they're all antifungals.
Right.
So when I'm on the diet, I'm on the diet, staying away from the fruits, and I'm following your protocol. I do experience an improvement. But
well, the thing, it's common sense should tell you, Carol, that when you stop taking the antifungals, the yeast kind of resurfaces. So you either haven't taken them long enough, and some people, if you can imagine, if you've had yeast overgrowth for decades, then it's going to take more than a few months to really get it under control. I mean, that's what it means. And in terms of the rash, we and I say this in the yeast book, a rash is an indication of the yeast toxins being excreted through the skin. So it is a reaction. I don't know, maybe it's you can modify it, like maybe take Pico Silver every day and not have to take all the others. But to me, I would stay on the supplements that made me feel better, and periodically just wean back a little bit. And if your symptoms come back, then you keep taking antifungal. Who knows what's going on in your environment? If maybe there's mold in your basement that's causing a cross reaction of the yeast and mold.
I don't have a basement. I don't think that's an issue for me. But you're saying that it can take more than a few months to completely get rid of this yeast?
Yes, absolutely. Go back and look at the yeast book. Have you read that?
I read, yes. You're talking about your online book, right? Your e-book?
That's right, yeah. Reset the Yeast Connection. Yeah, revisit the book and just, I do say, like I just said to you, if you've, for some reason, had yeast overgrowth over the years, it can take a while. And the fact of the matter is we always have yeast in our intestines, so it's really a matter of just trying to get it in balance so that it's not garbling your digestion and it's not causing you to have a rash. So it's a matter of just sticking with it and sort of paying attention and trying to figure out, well, is there a certain food? I'm sorry that you don't, you're not able to eat any fruit. That's a real drag. But, maybe if you stayed on the antifungals and then just had your fruit, then that would be a way to balance things out. Because, you see, now you're in charge of how you feel and your symptoms and what's going to happen. You're in charge of it, so you can take the antifungals or not, or take the fruit or not. But then you have to realize that if you still have yeast, you may have symptoms come back.
Yeah, well, I'm very strict with the diet, so I know I'm not eating what I'm not supposed to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and the other thing is, and that of course makes a lot of sense when you talk about the rash. It's the yeast toxins. I should have thought of that myself. Being excreted. Yeah. But is there? What would you recommend topically, if anything, to help get rid of?
Sure, Carol. The people will spray some of the Pico Silver on the rash, and that really helps. Yeah.
Pico Silver. Okay. Would that be
Right.
more beneficial than I was putting some oregano oil on it?
You can do that. I just find that oregano oil is very strong, and sometimes it can irritate people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's all.
So you think the spray of silver would be better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, I wish there was a, quote, cure, but I've been working with yeast for decades, my own self and with patients and clients and now customers, and it's tough. But you have proven that dealing with it makes your digestion better, so the worst is over, you're on the right path, so you just have to adjust things to your benefit. Okay,
so
Carol?
Is this something I'm going to have to keep taking on and off for the rest of my life?
I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. I mean, a miracle could happen, right?
Okay, so I would need a miracle for it to get rid of it completely. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, like I said earlier, we all have some yeast, and it's a matter of keeping it in balance so that you're eating and taking the things that keep you feeling happy and healthy. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, well, and that's really following your recommendations.
Right.
Bentonite Plus and the other things you recommend.
Right,
and that's what keeps me going. Otherwise, I'm like, one never knows what the day will bring.
Right. Well, it's good. You have that type of control, and you'll keep us posted. It could be that in 6 months you'll phone up and say, well, it took a while, but I'm 80% better. I'm gonna call you up and say I'm 100% better. Okay.
I'm eating everything.
Okay, Carol, that's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you so
word.
much. You guys are wonderful out there, and I just told somebody this week a man who's having issues with his heart, and I just was biting my nails trying to contain myself, but I couldn't. And
you couldn't.
No, I couldn't, because I think, oh my goodness, these people are suffering, and they're not having enough magnesium. They don't even take a tiny smidgen of magnesium, never mind enough that they need. So I told him about it, and I told him about you and your show, and I told him to tune into you, and he looked at me kind of skeptically, especially when he found out that you have these nutrients for sale. But I said, in your defense, I said, look, I know this woman has been a champion for magnesium before she started selling magnesium. Am I right?
Oh, absolutely.
Before you had any products. So I said, this isn't that she made the product and started selling it. She was the champion for it, and then the product got made.
Right. Well, what happened, Carol, is I couldn't find a company that would put up the money and the research to make a non-laxative magnesium. So they wouldn't do it. Drug companies aren't going to do it. So I was the only one that was going to do it. So otherwise we wouldn't have it at all. Okay, my dear, we're up at the top of the hour. So thank you for your call.
And
you're
thanks
welcome.
For being there for us. Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. You're welcome, Carol. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Wonderful. Thank you, Carol. That's so precious. And Carolyn, we know the feeling when you find out that you're probably going to have to deal with your yeast overgrowth for more than just a couple weeks. Not that it's been a little bit longer for her, but yeah, I know it's difficult because all the very good things that you want to just gobble up. But yeah, but I like your story about the yeast being like the Borg, and you just have to fight the the Borg, fight the Borg. That's funny. All right, well, listen, we've got tons of people holding, and I want to get to everybody, but we're not going to do it in the first hour. I just have to resolve myself. We only have 38 seconds left, so we're going to take a brief station break right now and get another sip of water, and then we'll be back in 90 seconds, and we're going to get on the phone with some more fun people. So you guys hang in there. We'll be right with you right after this break.
You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is achieveradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/achieveradio.
What city plays?
The old categories. They don't apply anymore. And we're just superhuman, discarnate things right now.
What city plays?
We're well beyond the categories for men and women right now. And we're just superhuman, discarnate things right now.
Give me body.
Bring back the body.
Give me body.
Bring back the body.
Give me body.
I do advocate immediate fast to bring back the body.
Give me body.
Bring back the body.
Give me body.
AchieveRadio.com.
Here we go now. Go to the Carolyn. Here we go now. Here we go now. The wellness scene with Dr. D. Here we go now. Here we go now. Go to the Carolyn. The wellness with Dr. D.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. So happy that you're all with us tonight. Very active chat room. Thank you. Chat line, thank you. And tons of callers. We're going to get to everybody this evening and give you a chance to talk to Dr. Dean. So, Carolyn, if you don't have any thoughts from the first hour, we'll just dive right into some more phone calls.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Area code 732, the great state of New Jersey. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Yes, my name is Alice, and I've been trying to call in for the longest because I ordered the Remag, Remite, and the Recal, and I wanted to know, I was diagnosed 2016 and 2019 with pulmonary embolism, and I'm now on Eliquis 5 milligrams twice a day, and I was waiting to take the magnesium because I was concerned about maybe some problems with taking the Remag, Remite, and the Eliquis. So
well,
that is
Alice,
my question.
Sure. They're minerals, the Remag and Remite, they're minerals that the body requires, and they really have no interaction with drugs. We've said for many years that a person can take the minerals, all our products actually, at any level of health or illness, on any medication. So there's going to be no interference. the minerals will help support the structure and function of the body and do their part in keeping you healthy, and actually they can help with the side effects that you get from medications.
Okay. And one other quick question. I have a grandson, 18 years old, who's on the dean list in college, but recently had to get out because of severe panic attacks and anxiety. What can he, in fact, be helped from taking this, the Remag Remite, and what would be his dose? Would it be different from mine?
No, everybody, we start with the quarter teaspoon and work up. Some people, they'll start to experience relief of symptoms with a teaspoon, maybe 2, could be 3 teaspoons of Remag. So it's a matter of slowly building it up and seeing kind of where the body gets its saturation point. A young person probably will get better a lot faster than an older person who has a great deficit. So but yeah, they can be very helpful. I don't know if you heard at the beginning of the show where in our 12,000 person survey, what was it? The number of people who had anxiety is 65%. So it's it's too common, people having anxiety. And we do have a booklet that he could look at. It's called Magnesium Deficient Anxiety. And it's a free download at drcarolyndeanlive.com because people have to know why. I mean, his question is, why on earth, why me? What's going on? But
yes,
you know, we don't eat enough magnesium in our diet. 100 years ago, we were getting 500 milligrams of magnesium. Now we're lucky to get 200. So what does that do to the 1,000 different enzyme processes in the body that require magnesium? It's just a mess. So he can read the book, start the minerals, you know, use the water guidelines that we talk about. It's all laid out. And the Realign is going to be important for him because it's got the B vitamins that help support the adrenals as well as the brain. So he'll do well.
Okay. So did you ever get your line of probiotics?
When's that being delivered, Jenny? Are we still not talking about it? Are we saying February?
We're saying February 1st week in February, in time for Valentine's Day for sure. That will be our gift of love.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I put the the magnesium deficient anxiety is also a webinar, Carolyn. It's got quite a lot of views on our YouTube channel, and I put it up for you on the chat line so you can look for that and possibly share. Sometimes the young people like YouTube's better than books.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Good luck with your grandson. I hope he feels better really quickly.
Yes, we're anxious to get him back in college.
Yes, exactly. Okay, good. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Okay, pressing on with our important program this evening, area code 215-215, the great state of Philadelphia. So happy to have you here with us this evening. Go ahead and give us your name and then state your question or comment, please. Hello, area. Yep.
Hello.
It's you.
Can you hear me? Yes. My name is Amina, and I'm calling because I actually take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D, and I've got to take 1 pill a week because the doctor said my, I don't get enough vitamins in my body. And she also stated that I have the osseous, the bone thing going on, so I have to take a banana. I have to eat a banana every morning with a glass of orange juice. to get enough calcium. Like, is there anything I can take besides the banana and the orange juice? Because that actually runs through me because I'm lactose.
Ah, right. Okay, Armina, what did you say, 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D?
Yes, I have to take, I'm prescribed 1,000 milligrams of vitamin D. I take 1 pill a week.
Well, that's it's probably a higher dosage. 1,000 is a smallish amount of vitamin D. Are you sure it's not like 10,000 or something like that?
Wait a minute, I'm about to look at my pill bottle.
Okay.
I'm about to look at my pill bottle. Yeah, it's 12,000. It's 12,000. Yeah,
okay.
I get 4. When I get on prescribed, I get 4 of them, and I take 1 a week for the month.
Right.
So I take 4 pills. I mean, and then I have high blood pressure really, really bad. I'm on my blood pressure medicine is 100 milligrams. Then I have the lactosum, which is that's the 100 milligrams. I have a water pill that's my water pill is 12.5 milligrams, and then I have another 10 milligrams of high blood pressure medicine. And I really cut down on the salt and everything, and my blood pressure still be high.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, there's a lot to do there. There's a lot to, that we could tell you about. But, what question do you have for me? Because are you phoning because you heard about me and magnesium?
Yes, I heard about you on magnesium from a good friend because I love seafood and always ordered seafood from her. But I haven't had seafood in like 3 months.
Are you talking about Kendall? Are you talking about Kendall?
Yes.
I love that girl.
I love
Carolyn, she's got a seafood company. Hold on just a sec. Carolyn, she's got a seafood company in Philadelphia now.
Oh, my gosh.
I haven't had her seafood in about 3 months, and I've been crying, because I love seafood. And I got thanks for Lay's tips.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, Armina, let me just say this: you got some things going on, but it's stuff that you can deal with. And what you should do is just start real slow. Go to our website, drcarolyndeanlive.com. DRCAROLYN.
Because she actually gave me your website to order these pills from.
Sure. Well, it's liquids. Yeah, because I want you to read the book about Remag, the magnesium product.
Okay, you said the website is what? I want to write it down. I'm sorry.
Sure. Carolyn, CAROLYN. DEAN live. So put live there, drcarolyndeanlive.com, and under the book link, go and download. It's a free download. The book called Remag, and that'll tell you all about what you're missing with the magnesium and what Kendall's been trying to tell you. And because you got to understand it in your mind, what we're talking about here, how your body is missing something that is causing you to tightens up your blood pressure, and then they put you on all these medications. And the thing about salt is sea salt from fish is fine. You need the sea salt because that has more than just sodium as a mineral. It has 72 minerals. So, yeah, you're cutting yourself off from something healthy by
and I love fish. I always eat fish. My favorite is fish and turquoise. I stopped eating the beef and everything.
Right. So, look, like I said, you've got a lot going on. Did you say you ordered some products already, Armina?
Yes, Kendall. Yes, I did. Kendall sent me the information. I want to say like 2 months ago. She texted me your information and stuff, and she sent me like what I should try, because I'm always up for a good fight with something that helped me. And I trust in Kendall. Like, I love her to death. So we've known her for a couple of years. She's doing just great. So, look, you're going to read that book. You're going to get your products, and then you're going to email into us and probably get someone on the phone, and we'll talk you through starting to take the products, because there's a lot going on, but we're used to this. We've helped a lot of people through the osteo stuff and the blood pressure stuff. Okay? Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, so the email to get in touch with us, it's on our website, but it's support@rnareset.com.
RNA
Reset, RESCT.com. And anytime you have a question, there's usually someone on there to give you an answer, and we'll support you to get you going. Get all these things sorted out. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all guys.
Okay, well, so you go tell Kendall that Carolyn said I could buy your fish again.
She's on. She actually on. She called me and told me to go and listen in.
Okay.
Thank you,
Kendall.
guys.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Armina. Thanks for calling in. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's sweet. That's very sweet. That Kindle's something else, man. She is taking care of Philadelphia, too. She's got a big business there, Carolyn. It cracks me up. I see her on my Instagram all the time. Okay, let's see. Now, we're on a roll from the Philadelphia area, so let's go this time to area code 267. 267, you're on the line with Dr. Dean.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good. Good.
My name is Chris, and Kendall from Pleasure Planners also sent me from the seafood page, and I want to buy your products tonight. I'm having fluid on my lungs, inflammation through my body, and respiratory failure, and congenital heart failure. And I've been in the hospital with a pneumonia in both lungs, and we're doing everything to, I've dropped sodium. I've been on diabetes medication, but I've been eating so low. I've just been taking smoothies, and I take my medicine, but I'm on 80 milligrams of Lasix, and then they gave me on top of that, because that wasn't working, and my body blew up bigger than ever. So now I need to know she was telling me to take, and she, in fact, came to the hospital. Kendall came, and she just keeps urging me to try your products and your books and stuff. And today she said, call in.
Right. Okay, Chris, do you have a nebulizer?
I have a nebulizer. I have a CPAP machine, a BiPAP machine,
and
Brio.
In the nebulizer, what I'm going to tell you to do is to help relax the lungs, and also kind of squeeze the fluid out of the lungs. What I can't tell you what to do, because I'm not your doctor and we have to be careful, but what I would personally do is in a nebulizer, put in the saline fluid that you do when you put in a drug, but put 1 teaspoon of Remag, our magnesium, and 1 teaspoon of our Pico Silver.
Okay.
And the Pico Silver is for the immune system. It helps to build new cells from stem cells. It helps heal up wounds. So it's going to help on a lot of levels. And the Remag will relax the bronchioles because they seize up. When there's all that fluid in the lungs, they start, seizing up, almost a little bit of asthma. So that's what I would start with, externally like that. Leave all your medications. Don't even think about changing any of that because you can take our things with the medications. And then you're going to take the Remag by mouth as well and take the Pico Silver by mouth. I think what we'll do is, and maybe with Armina too, Ginny, will we get Julie to phone up Armina and Chris?
Yeah, we can. I think I have I still have both of their numbers here, so we will. And those products are on sale. So Julie, not the Remag, but the Pico Silver, so Julie can actually help get their order processed and stuff.
Mm-hmm. So we'll put someone on your case so that, Julie will walk you through it. Like when we first started using Pico Silver, Chris, Julie had like 20 years of sinus infections, and they were affecting her lungs and, her getting asthma and everything, and the Pico Silver turned her around. So she's the perfect person to talk to you. She's one of our customer service people. Okay?
Okay, now how about the inflammation in my joints
Sure. Well, that's the fluid is building up in your joints too, I imagine. And the Remag is going to help that. But also, I'm going to have to send you one of my blogs. Will send you, or Julie will, about the need for sea salt, to drink sea salt in your water. It's okay to stop table salt, but it's the sea salt that we need to pull the minerals into the cells to make the cells function properly. So it's a bad thing to stop all salt. You need sea salt, but we'll educate you about that, okay?
Now, how about the magnesium? I know she was telling me that she was urging me to take magnesium.
Exactly. That's what I've been calling the Remag, R-E-M-A-G. That's our magnesium. Yeah, that's our gateway drug, Chris. That's our most important drug. Okay?
Okay, so do I stay on the line to be in touch, or do I wait for Julie to call me?
You'll wait for Julie to call you probably tomorrow.
Okay, that'll be awesome.
Yeah. So if, Ginny, are you saying you have the phone numbers for Chris and Armina?
I do have, yep, I have Chris and Armina's number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll get in touch with you, okay, hon?
I'll look forward to it. And Kendall from Pleasure Platters, she promotes you everywhere. So I just want you to know that. She loves you guys, and she lives by it.
We love her.
And I love her, too. Okay, thank you so much for everything, ladies. You have a beautiful night.
Thank you for calling. Good for you.
Bye-bye.
The worst is over, Chris. The worst is over.
Yes, thank you. I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're going to have to get Kendall little Remag sample bottles to hang out with all of her Pleasure Platters, Carolyn. We'll put Kendall on our professional.
Yeah. If you want to do that, sure. Okay, do it.
She's a doll. Okay, thank you, Kendall. I know you're listening. Thank you very much. She is a very caring, compassionate woman, and I know that she's very sincere in what she's doing, and we're just teasing you. But I will send you a couple of things to help you out for helping these lovely people out. Okay, let's go to area code 906, the great state of Michigan. 906, you're on the line with us this evening with Dr. Carolyn Dean. If we could get your name and then ask your question or comment.
Hi, this is Valerie Olson. Hello, Dr. Dean and Ginny. It's so good to get to talk with you again.
Hi, Valerie. Good for you.
Hi. I just want to say how exciting it is when people, just today I had somebody come into the office to pick up some more Remag, which we're waiting on our shipment coming tomorrow, but, showing me his hands that have been totally broken out for, I'm going to guess, for like 3 years now, and they got better, and then not quite all the way better, and then as soon as he bumped up the Remag, everything, he brought him in today to show me his hands. He was so proud. They were all clear, all new skin. Everything was beautiful. His need for magnesium was just high. And no matter what people come in for to see me for assessment, I assume they are magnesium deficient. Everyone is magnesium deficient. I just see that they all respond when I do testing with the Biotron. It doesn't matter which parts of the body are showing stress. It's interesting because I have 2 vials I use to test. Each one has a teaspoon and a half. So for some people, it gets partway corrected with the teaspoon and a half. For others, I have to put the full 3 teaspoons on, and then I see all the failing points normalized. So it's really exciting to be able to see what's happening energetically so that then I can, with confidence, say, wow, you are responding so well. Today I had someone with highly, highly stressed adrenals that were 20 points too high, just really stressed. And he said he had just had half of a caffeine drink, half of a power drink about 2 hours before he came in, and they were crazy stressed. And I just put the teaspoon and a half of Remag, because he'd already been taking it at about a teaspoon and a half a day. But he needed more because the caffeine had just pushed it out of his body. So all I had to do was put that in the circuit, and it all normalized. And I said, wow. He said, you know what, if it's doing that to me, I can give up my coffee. And I said, great. You're just going to get better faster. You're a type 1 diabetic. You just need to do whatever, So I thank you. I'm so grateful for the products. And I do have a gal that is now 28, almost due to deliver, 3 weeks from delivery, that has gone into OCD. I have never seen her. Her mother is a client of mine. And my question is, at 28 weeks, if no one has told her, and I know that the need for magnesium has got to go up, the further along in pregnancy you are, but I'm sure no one has talked to her, no doctor, about taking magnesium. So my question is, if she has to start slowly, is it a good combination to put the quarter teaspoon in a quart of water that you sip through the day, but also maybe spray some on the lower legs topically? Will that release slowly so it doesn't overwhelm her body with too much, but not take too long to get her level up so that she is going into delivery without being super deficient?
Well, Valerie, hopefully you can get her into the office and test her because, when someone is having OCD symptoms, needs the magnesium, she'll want to have a successful delivery. She doesn't want to have eclampsia and all that. She could probably, take a teaspoon right off the bat, but I couldn't say that. But you could test it. When someone is that needy of it, then boom, it's like bringing someone in, putting them on an IV, and they just slurp it up.
Right. Well, I just wondered if you put it on, say, the lower legs, do you have a slower absorption? Do you have kind of a trickling into the bloodstream versus, taking it orally? Tell me about it.
We've had and you probably have seen it too, Valerie, where people will put it on their skin and say, my gosh, within a few minutes I was feeling better. So we know it's absorbed really quickly through the skin because it's Remag.
Okay.
So, But what it'll do for a a patient is let them feel that they have a little more control by putting it externally.
And that's a good thing. I feel like sometimes a combination of the two lets them get to what they need a little faster, and then, of course, there's the taste thing that I'm working on. The magical solution seems to be make 1 quart of lemonade with your full day's dose and sip it all through the day. And you can sweeten it just with stevia, and you're not going to taste the remag, and just sip it through the day, and then you can have plain water too, so...
Yeah.
So that's worked. My last question is, with mold infections, which are so common now, is it preferential to take the Pico Silver 3 times a day versus 2 times a day? I mean, is it effective against mold as well as yeast? Because sometimes people have both.
Well, there's so much. I've got on the mailbag someone with a neuropathy. Yeah, there's so many people who are taking this gabapentin. They all of a sudden have nerve inflammation and, like you say, infection. But did you read my sugar book where I talked about the podiatrist who wrote Sugar Crush? He says so much of it has to do with sugar overload from people who just, it may be fruit or it may be straight sugars, but they're really totally burdening their nerves with sugar. So I really look at the sugar book. I forget what I call it at drcarolyndeanlive.com. It was a real eye opener to me to read that book, Sugar Crush. But I kind of precede what he said. So when I try to remember when I'm talking to people about their neuropathy is that you got to stop sugar, maybe go on a yeast diet. The Pico Silver, I would spread it out through the day. I would take it 1 teaspoon 3 times a day. But the nerves are really going to be supported with the Remag as well.
With neuropathy, have you seen success in spraying it on topically? Say, for instance, if the toes, you have some toes that are numb. I'm not talking diabetic neuropathy. I'm just talking about some neurological decline in legs and feet. Is there a benefit to doing it topically versus internally?
I think it's both, but we have had people come back to us, and Jenny will jump in and confirm where if we can get them to spray or put Remag lotion, they say, oh my gosh, that really, took me over the edge of getting better when I started putting it on transdermally because, maybe there's something about the neuropathy that shuts down some microcirculation and they're not getting the magnesium directly through the bloodstream. I don't know. But there definitely is a transdermal effect. Right, Ginny?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, topically using the Remag, it does, wherever there's the issue, wherever there's an inflammation, a disconnection, people with AFib put it on their chest. People with migraines, you can just pour some in your hand and swipe it across the top of your forehead and the base of your neck, and your headache goes away. Remag is fantastic for topical use, so you can't go wrong with it. Now, is it going to have an instantaneous effect, or is it going to have a building effect? That's up to the person's individual biochemistry. I would just say that if they continue to use it topically, they still have to pay attention to the hydration guideline, because they still do need the water to move it around their body once it, does its local effect. It's still going to need water for circulation. So, I'd say do both. It can't hurt.
Sure, it can't hurt. And I just wanted to add about the osteoporosis. You're absolutely right about the bisphosphonates. And I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. John Lee's work, but I can say that I remember him talking about a case of a patient who had 40% bone loss, whose husband was a physician who wanted her to go on a bisphosphonate, and she said, oh, no, I'm going to follow Dr. Lee's protocol and use topical progesterone in addition to magnesium and vitamin D. And then he monitored her every 6 months, and in 3 years she reversed the 40% bone loss because, the progesterone is stimulating those osteoblasts to build new bone, and then the REMAG is giving you what you need to carry the minerals to build the bone. So it's a great combination, but I was so excited when he talked. I heard one of his lectures when he talked about reversing this really high level of bone loss. And that was exciting. Anyone can go and order topical progesterone from Dr. Lee's website, and if they use that together with the protocol, with the minerals, then they've got the best of all worlds. And to be able to document that the osteoporosis is being reversed, wow, that's exciting. So thank you all for all your work. I so appreciate everything you do, and I could just tell you stories of all the people that have called in or written or emailed or come in and said, oh my hands don't hurt anymore, my fibromyalgia pain is gone, my migraines are gone, whatever. It's just exciting to see.
Yeah, that's what being a good practitioner is all about, is helping people. So, we're just excited that we have products that work so that, it makes your job so much more rewarding. It's just wonderful.
Right. I often feel sad for those doctors who don't know what they can do to help and haven't learned it, because a lot of my teachers are MDs who do know, but, when they don't, it must be frustrating not to get to see people get better. So I consider that it's really my blessing that I get to see people get well. That's exciting. So thank you. I wish you both a good night.
Okay. Thanks, Valerie, very much for calling in. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, final phone call, Carolyn. We just have to do this one because it's Kindle.
Oh. Hey, Kindle.
Hey, girl.
Y'all been?
Hey.
What are you?
So you're working for RNA Reset now, I hear.
Listen, y'all some lifesavers. That's the least I could do.
Oh, my gosh. So, Ginny, when are we going to Philadelphia? When are we going to Philadelphia? We have to go.
I guess we're going to have to go pretty soon. I've been thinking about you, Kendall, because I've been watching you on Instagram with your pleasure platter business, and I thought if that girl gets burned out and quits taking her REMAG, I am going to have to go up there and do something about it. So I'm glad you're taking your REMAG and you're not burning yourself out. Are you loving your business?
I'm loving my business. I did burn myself out. I did forget to take it. I am in a very bad way right now, only because I stopped taking it the way I should. I just ordered like 2 weeks ago, so I'm back on it. But I'm having inconsistencies. I was going to see if Dr. Dean could give me like some ways to not feel like I'm about to like spaz out or panic, because I'm having the spasms in my muscles and the palpitations because I have the hypokemia. I keep getting that. I keep getting that potassium deficiency, and then it jumps off on my magnesium deficiency. So,
well, it's coming up. I know, Ginny, we're not supposed to say this, but we are going to bring out a potassium product. The same, a bottle, because it's so hard to get potassium. That's, in a good measurable amount. But in the meantime, can you make some of the potassium broths that we talk about? So that
I did that. And it's like I'll feel good for a day, but then I'll go back to the spasms. Especially if I get upset or I get anxiety, I'll have like a skip heartbeat or something like that.
Right.
And
well, you've just depleted. you've depleted yourself. You know, we've talked about this before. How you've done the experiment. You've stopped taking it for a while, and then your symptoms come back, so you still need it. So it's going to take a little bit to build it up again. But how much of Remag are you on?
So I'm just putting in two teaspoons, I think, in my 20-ounce water bottle. So I need more, you think?
Oh yeah. I mean, you were up at 3 teaspoons at one time, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then go there.
Okay.
And do the broth. Yeah. I mean, it's solvable, but in the middle of you getting anxious and everything, it's just hard to take action. So yeah. I'm just saying 3 teaspoons of Remag, do your potassium broth, and be drinking that every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And are you on the Real line as well?
I don't have any more. I can order some. I'll order some. I want to get my restructure again. I want to start doing that again because that was helping me lose weight.
Oh, yeah. And, I wanted to say that I didn't get around to it to say that to Chris, but we'll get Julie to tell her. She needs to be, she's doing smoothies, so she can do the restructure smoothies, and I'm sure that'll be really good and healthy for her. So, jump on the website because everything's on, all those things are on sale. So, just buy a ton of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Kendall also, wait a minute, is there a smoothie place by you, like Smoothie King or something like that?
I do have 2 smoothie places. I can't remember the names of them. One is green. I think Jamba Juice.
Okay, Jamba Juice has an amazing potassium smoothie. And, that you can get, I think it's got like 3,200 milligrams of potassium or something. I just saw it the other day at the airport when I was traveling. So pop into one of those places and tell them you need to get a potassium, because the thing about potassium is that it's in all the potassium foods, really are a lot of the real sugary foods. But they'll put it together with spinach and that kind of thing. And also really the best source of potassium, if you don't do the broth, is a baked potato.
Really?
You can get 1,000 milligrams of potassium in a baked potato. And sweet potatoes is about 800. And you get that Jamba Juice going on, and you'll have a lot of potassium.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank y'all. Jenny, I miss you, boo.
Oh, I know. You just had to do this so you could come on and talk to us. That's what happened. That's all. You missed us. Yay.
Yes, come visit. I can't wait. I'll make you a pleasure platter.
Oh, that's such a great name. I just looked you up on Instagram. It's so sweet. Okay, sweetheart, yes. More Remag.
Okay, no problem. Thanks, Dr. Dean.
Okay,
thanks,
sweetheart.
Bye. All right.
Bob, I said hey.
All right.
Yeah, hey, Bob.
Hey. Bye. Bye, Kendall.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Okay, I was worried about her. She's pumping out those pleasure platters, and I could see it. I'm like, ruh-roh. Okay, 2 questions from the chat, and then I know you have mailbag. One of them is from Carol. She typed in, she said, I'd been on Dr. Brown's bone-building supplements for 8 years, taking 8 tabs a day. I've stopped recently and have been taking my Remag and Remite for several years now. I recently had 2 stents put in October. I have high cholesterol, and I refuse to take statins until now. I asked my cardiologist and my gynecologist if too much calcium could have caused the calcifications, and they both said no. I have since stopped taking calcium and eating more food with calcium. I have the calcium from RNA Reset, but I'm concerned that it could cause more buildup and blockages. The cardiologist thinks it's family history and radiation from 20 years ago contributing to the buildup of my arteries. I have osteoporosis, and I'm concerned that it may get worse. I'm exercising and doing weight training, and I'm 66. Should I avoid another bone scan? Should I limit the recalcia to 300 milligrams a day? I do take vitamin D2 with the Remag and Remite every day. I just added collagen in my smoothie.
Well, maybe Carol got some of those answers earlier when I said in your diet 600 milligrams or diet and recalcia. So, and the Remag probably, if you're trying to undo the calcification from 8 years of dirt calcium, we call it, then the 3 teaspoons of Remag will probably would be something I would take. Yeah, taking calcium is going to cause heart disease. I don't know why the doctors say no, but where do they think this calcium is coming from? And the studies are there. Women who take calcium supplements are at a higher risk for heart disease. Boom. And the cholesterol, yeah, you got to read, what is it, The Great Cholesterol Con by Dr. Malcolm Kendrick, to try to stave off the whole statin prescription that doctors, they think it's the only thing that will save a person, but it's been proven over and over again. You do not extend your life by taking statins. It may, slam down your cholesterol, but it doesn't help you live any longer. It's just, that's what obviously comes out of the study. So maybe re-listen to the first part of the show, Carol, and see if your questions have been answered. Okay, Ginny?
Very good. Yep. Angela just wanted to contribute this thought, Carolyn. She was, when you were talking about the different bone drugs, she said, my husband was on Zumata as a protection for his bones due to bone cancer, and he ended up with osteonecrosis. In his jaw. Osteonecrosis. Oh, dear. That sounds like bone death. Osteonecro, right? Is that bone death?
Yeah,
God.
It is.
Jeez.
It is.
Jeez. Oh, my God. In his jaw after a tooth extraction, it was one of the worst things he had to live with until he died. God. Some dentists wouldn't even do anything more than a dental cleansing if you've taken even one dose of a drug like this.
Yeah. Amazing.
People. That's why everybody, we're going to get a T-shirt that says, I want to be like Kindle, because we got to spread the word. We have got to spread the word. This is just terrible. People are suffering with this stuff. Okay. Mary said, Dr. Dean, can you tell me why above my lips is dry no matter what I do? I purchased your Remag, Remite, and Pico Silver, but I haven't taken any yet. I also have low thyroid and vitamin D levels and dry hands, red, white, inflammation. I'm a little embarrassed. How much product do I take? I don't know if I take all 3 at once or one at a time.
Well, it's all written out, Mary, on the paper you got. So, or you can just, download the Remag booklet. All my booklets are free download, and at the end of each booklet, I go over, in Appendix A usually, I go over step by step the taking of these nutrients. We begin with a 1/4 teaspoon and slowly build up. And actually, it's interesting about the dry skin because I don't know if I can find it here, but, here. In the mailbag, Delia says, I pray that this note reaches you. You are an awesome medical doctor and natural doctor. For the past 2 weeks that I have been adding sea salt to my Remag, Remite, and water, my extremely dry skin has gotten moist. Thank you so much. So that's what you can expect for your dry skin. And certainly the Remag lotion as a body lotion has helped my dry skin. So yes, get one of the downloads of the free books at drcarolyndeanlive.com and go to Appendix A, or just look at the inserts that you got with your package and just start in. I mean, we've had that from a number of people. Well, I get the products and I don't know how to take them. And we definitely send information to tell you how to do it, but we don't mind you phoning in or chatting in to ask. We'll repeat ourselves till we're blue in the face just to get the information across. Okay, Ginny?
Absolutely.
Can I do my mailbag?
Yes, you may.
Okay. I'm interested in hearing Dr. Dean's suggestion for using Recalcium, Remag, and the rest of the complete forms for a 65-year-old woman given a diagnosis of osteoporosis. I cannot join the show. Okay, I was directed to see a rheumatologist for prescription treatment, which I have not followed through on yet. Yeah, they just want to put you on a bisphosphonate because that's all they know how to do. So I think basically we'll get Melody Rose to tell this person that they'll hear all the information about how to go about taking care of their taking care of their bones with our products. Susan says, I currently add 1 teaspoon of Remag and 1 teaspoon of Remide to each liter of sea salted water, drinking about 70 ounces a day, current weight 145. Now, that's the right amount of water, half your body weight in pounds. Drink that many ounces, but a teaspoon of each probably not enough if they're trying to work on some problem. Let's continue. I also take a teaspoon of Recalcia in some water twice a day. Fairly active as a nurse educator. Started working with a personal trainer for core strengthening, overall muscle strengthening. Any suggestions would be appreciated. So I assume she wants to be on a sort of a health regimen. I would do 2 teaspoons of Remag and 1.5 Remite. I would really also get the Realign, and I mean the RNA reset drops are pretty spectacular as well, but I guess we kind of start with the mineral drops and the Realign, just to give the building blocks for the cells in the body. So that's Susan. Who's this? Melissa says, I've been taking a teaspoon of Remag every day in water for the last 2.5 years. Now, that may not be enough. It's less than the RDA. I stopped taking calcium supplements. I was afraid of the side effects. I exercise, especially walking. I just had a DEXA scan done, and I have bone loss, 6% hips, 3% spine over the past 3 years. I'm now at osteoporosis stage 2 for vertebrae and osteopenia everywhere, including hips. What do you suggest me going forward? So we've all got osteopenia. I don't know how old Melissa is. So we've all got osteopenia, so that we know. And what I personally would be doing is probably 2.5 to 3 teaspoons of Remag, 1.5 teaspoons of Remite, Recalcia, 1 teaspoon along with some calcium-rich foods if you can, and the Realign, and exercise, and probably the restructure. We haven't talked enough about restructure in terms of the bones, but because the restructure does have a lot of nutrients in it. It's got the vitamin C for the collagen and everything, so I would add the restructure for sure. So that's where I would go. I know Valerie talked about the progesterone. I used to work with progesterone a lot in my practice in Toronto. I haven't talked about it much here. It's hard to come by progesterone, but Valerie seems to think it's available online. But I would start with our complement formulas and then see where see where you're at before I would be telling people to, not being a direct practitioner of our customers before telling people to do hormones. And this is the blog mailbag where someone says, my doctor recommended DEXA scan. Are the results of having this type of x-ray reliable? I'm 60 years old, previously diagnosed with osteopenia 10 years ago, but I changed my diet, started supplements, and now I've been on Remag Remite for 2 years. Thank you for your time. So this is Diane. So yes, DEXA scan is done to try to get people on the bisphosphonate drugs. So if you know you're not going to take those drugs, I'd be personally, I would wonder why even get the scan. It is an X-ray. It is fear-producing. The next email: how much K2 and calcium should I take? So I went through that. Oh, and this is William. He's saying he had a kidney stone, which is magnesium deficiency, bladder stone, magnesium deficiency. He had a parathyroid nodule removed, and he has osteopenia because of the parathyroid nodule. That affects your calcium uptake. He takes Remag Remite lotion daily. Remag Remite and Remag lotion. His hip bothers him. I don't know how much he's taking. He's also on a blood pressure medication called Valsartan, and I remember that drug, so I looked it up. And he's talking about hip bothering him. Well, the side effects of Valsartan are dizziness, low blood pressure, diarrhea, joint and back pain, and tiredness. So, personally, I would be on enough Remag to see if that was enough for blood pressure, rather than put up with that sort of pain, which could be a side effect. And this is the neuropathy email. I started having neuropathy-type symptoms 7 months ago. Increased sensitivity to light touch, painful to have bed sheets touching my legs, sharp electrical pains in my legs, muscle twitching. Been to multiple medical practitioners, numerous tests, which I'm thankful have all been negative. Checked for MS, lupus, every autoimmune disease known to man. Prescribed gabapentin and antidepressant to cope with the symptoms. I just recently weaned myself off both. So thankful that a friend sent me information about your magnesium studies. I read through the symptoms of magnesium deficiency and cried. You described to me. She had a 24-hour urine analysis showing severe vitamin C, low calcium, and nutrient absorption. Now, she doesn't mention magnesium. I don't know if they did that test. And she said she's taking supplements for vitamin C and calcium. Been taking higher doses of calcium for 30 years because of a parathyroid issue. Osteopenia, realizing the importance of magnesium and calcium balance. Started taking digestive enzymes, taking Remag for 3 days, started with a quarter teaspoon, stopped taking calcium. Wondering how long I should be taking Remag before beginning to reintroduce the calcium. How long does it usually take before seeing a decrease or hopefully elimination of neuropathy symptoms? And this is Beth. Yeah, I mean, that's difficult, Beth, to know. Basically, it's kind of reading enough about the Remag and understanding what we're trying to educate people about. Google my name and neuropathy and see what else I've written about it, and then, just convince your own mind that, okay, this is what I have to take. I better take my Remag and slowly build it up. Maybe it could be 3 teaspoons in terms of calcium. Personally, I waited a year before I resumed eating calcium-rich foods and or taking some Recalcia. But as long as you take a little extra Remag, like half a teaspoon, when you take a teaspoon of Recalcia, then you balance things out. I think for someone who needs it in terms of your parathyroids, I would not like you to be off calcium, but to be using Recalcia on a daily basis. And yes, you might need the 2 teaspoons of Recalcia along with your 3 teaspoons of Remag. So there, I did them all. Ginny, I'm done.
Okay, excellent. Wonderful. Darius is giving you out the big love shout. It's 48 minutes to the top of the hour. We had a great show today. Family reunion, all kinds of fun. Don't forget to get your products on sale. It's only going to last for a couple days. Carolyn, any last thoughts?
No, we're good. Bob's chiming in now to say Yahoo!
Hello. Yeah, it was good. A lot of good callers today.
Yeah, it was fun. It was great.
It was a great show. Thank you, Bob, for your
Ginny.
generous contribution and the treasury of your wisdom.
You're welcome, Ginny. You depend on it.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye, everybody.
Callers. Thanks, Kendo.
You've been listening to Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Till next time, so long, and thanks for all the fish.
AchieveRadio.com.